Hey, what's up Guardians, TBL here, and we're back with the next part of our weapon tuning discussion video where Black Fox and I discussed a lot of the upcoming weapon changes. In the last video we made it through pulse rifles and how we think those upcoming changes are going to affect the weapon class. This time around, we'll be discussing the blanket hand cannon nerf that's going to affect all of the hand cannons across the board. We'll be taking some time to talk about the changes coming to the legendary and exotic hand cannons, and how these upcoming changes could affect their placings and usage in both PvE and PvP. Now, as usual, be sure to let me know you guys' thoughts and comments about the upcoming weapon changes in the comment section below. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Be sure to let me know. But alright, here is the hand cannon portion of our weapon balance discussion. Hope you guys enjoy. But next up comes the section I'm unhappy about: hand cannons. Oh no, hand cannons. Oh man. Alright, so there are a lot of changes coming to hand cannons. They are getting a blanket across the board nerf that I really don't think they needed. It's literally a repeat of what Bungie did to the auto rifles because of Suros. Hand cannons are getting a blanket nerf because of Last Word and, well, more so Thorn.
In PvP, yeah. But in PvE, I think it's more associated with Fatebringer.
Fatebringer. All right, so let's hit these changes up. Oh man, they're starting the damage fall off closer to the player to limit long-range lethality. They should have stopped right there, in my opinion. That was the only real change that needed to happen to Thorn, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
That's fine with Fatebringer too. In my opinion, having the damage fall off start closer is perfectly fine. Like,
yep.
That is okay. Like,
you shouldn't be sniping with them.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a given. The only hand cannon that can, flat out snipe is Hawkman. I mean, Thorn, you can get some good shots, and Last Word can get some stupid shots that shouldn't even work. But for the most part, Hawkman is the sniper hand cannon.
Yeah.
But in PvE, I do agree that the damage fall off should happen a little bit sooner because they are handguns. Like, handguns typically inside of arcade shooters and video games don't have the best range per se. I know in real life it's different, but you know how it is. With video games, usually shotguns and handguns have this lowest range for some reason. But yeah, I don't agree with the changes coming up, but that I'm not too bothered by that. That one's fine. And
again, I think that was the only change that needed to happen. I think in terms of all hand cannons, Thorn included, the only change that should have happened was starting the damage fall off closer to the player. That's the only thing that should have happened, because you shouldn't be 2 and 3 shotting people with Thorn at sniper distances. That shouldn't be happening. But they went on. It's getting a small reduction in ADS accuracy, ADS accuracy and targeting, making long-range snap shooting less reliable. That kind of falls in with the whole long-range shot thing, so I'm alright with that too. It's also getting a reduction in final accuracy when hip firing. Aren't hand cannons supposed to be the close to mid-range weapon that you would like to hip fire with? Fast firing from the hip will be less reliable. It's getting a reduction in magazine size for all base inventory stats, which is, a lot of people I guess don't really realize it, but that's a huge thing, and that's a really bad thing in my opinion. That's going to hit guns like Fatebringer really, really, really hard. They're also getting a reduction in base zoom for all hand cannons. I don't really know how much I'm going to care about that one. And finally, ADSing now grants more width in favor of depth. So basically they're going to be less accurate, they're going to have more recoil, they're going to have less range, and they're going to have less ammunition. Most of that I don't like, because legendary hand cannons in general didn't need a nerf. They didn't. Legendary hand cannons...
Legendaries, aside from Fatebringer, didn't really need a nerf.
They were, for the most part, absolutely perfect the way they are. The only thing that really needed to be looked at were some of the exotics, and maybe Fatebringer. Well, with the change with the exotics would have affected Fatebringer anyway. And for me,
go
ahead.
Here's what I don't understand about one of those points: the hip firing. But they said that they're gonna nerf that, but later on, with Last Word nerf, they're buffing the aim acquisition, the damage with the hip firing, so I'm not too sure what is being put into place here. So you're nerfing the hip fire, but you're buffing the last word's damage while it's being hip fired and the aim assist on it. Huh?
Yeah, they're nerfing the hipfire for legendary hand cannons, but buffing the hipfire accuracy and precision damage for the last word. Bungie, why you do this? But again, legendary hand cannons were for the most part fine as they were. They didn't really need this nerf. This nerf was really more so designed for Thorn. And of all these things, really the only thing I think Thorn actually needed was a reduction in the damage over range, which it got. It could have stopped right there, and I think Thorn would have been fine. But moving on from that, looking on to some of the other changes that are affecting Thorn in particular, they're reducing the base damage of the Mark of the Devourer, which is the dot, by it's going down to roughly a third of what it was in PvE and PvP. That's a pretty huge drop. That takes it from what, 7 to 3, 4?
I would say 7 to 2.
7 to 2?
Because
you think they're going to round it down?
I think they're going to round it down, yeah. So people can't 2-tap anymore since the dot stacks now. Which you're probably going to tell people around about the dot.
Yeah, so to offset this this reduction in the dot effect, the dot can now stack up to 5 times across multiple landed projectiles. Meaning you can hit a person and it'll stack up the dot. Now whether that increases the dot's damage or just has the dot go on for a longer period of time, I'm willing to bet it's the latter there. It kind of mitigates some of the effects here, and it makes it so that Thorn is still useful in PvE.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing it's the second one there, where it's rather than increasing the damage based on the total number of shots you've landed, it's going to increase the amount of time that the burn effect is active.
I don't know if it's going to be it could be a stack in terms of time, or it could be a stack in terms of damage. I'm not entirely sure, but in any case, you can't 2-tap, which is a 2-shot headshot.
2-shot headshot, yeah.
That's what people reference when they say, I've got a 2-tap on the guy or whatever. So Thorn, you have to stack 3 dots at least on someone. You have to do 3 shots of Thorn.
Yeah, you know, it's not changing that. You can still 3-shot kill with Thorn to the body. You just won't be able to 2-shot and then walk away from people if you get 2 headshots over all ranges, which was really, again, I think that was the main problem. People complained about being 2-shotted by Thorn in the Crucible. Well, I mean, up close, you know, you're going to get 2-shotted by Last Word and Hawkman and killed on most occasions anyway. But with Thorn, you could do it at all ranges, and that's really where Thorn's problem was for me. So yeah, Bungie went on to say that this is, the burn. everybody loves the green screen effect, the burn. But that's staying. That's a thing. That's part of Thorn. It's going to stay.
Yeah.
But additionally, they're also covering more of the hand cannons. Hawkmoon's getting a couple of changes. They're adding a stack limit to Luck in the Chamber and Holding Aces so that the 2 perks will not ever stack on 1 round. That was the legendary triple tap proc where you could just one-shot people every once in a while by getting both of your Holding Aces buffs plus Luck in the Chamber to proc on 1 single shot. I've had that happen a couple times when I'm using it, and it was an amazing feeling. For those of you guys out there with Hawkmoon, go to the Crucible now to try to enjoy that one more time. That legendary, fairly rare but still there, triple proc. It's going to be a fond farewell when that goes away. But you know, I can understand why they want to do that. Yeah. They don't want you one-shotting people with Hawkmoon.
I don't think that Hawkmoon is it's viable, but right now it's just overshadowed. I mean, yeah, you can one-shot people, but it's a gun based off of RNG instead of consistency. Yeah,
and you know, it's going to be you're right. It's overshadowed by Last Word and Thorn. Yeah. But that's probably going to change after this patch. They're also adding in 2 rounds to Hawkmoon's magazine when Holding Aces is unlocked, which is going to be interesting, considering all hand cannons are getting a reduction in their magazine size. So I don't know if it's going to restore some shots and basically leave Hawkmoon at the exact same magazine size that it is right now, which is what, 13?
Yeah.
Or if like all hand cannon, or if it's going to lose maybe 3 or 4 shots and then it's going to get an extra 2 once you unlock Holding Aces. I have no idea. They didn't really explain on that.
If if it keeps the same amount of ammo, which it probably won't, this is a blanket nerf, and people probably don't realize it.
Yeah.
If you have 13 shots and now you add 2, you get access to your luck in the chamber and your holding aces perks slower. Because you're not getting those procs, because you have more bullets to go through to get to those procs. But if they just nerf the ammo size but then give it 2 more shots, you could see it just remaining how it is in terms of the ammo and getting access to luck in the chamber and holding aces. Also, this could be an indication of how many rounds they're nerfing hand cannons by. They could just be nerfing it by 2. And that will bring it back up to its usual 13. You could look at this and say, Bungie, you just nerfing hand cannon ammo by 2. If that's okay, I'll be fine, you know?
Yeah.
If that's the case, sure.
I guess, we'll have to see in a couple months when this change comes into effect. Oh, also, luck in the chamber, the damage bonus is being reduced by 3%. Why? I don't know. I guess they figure it's too powerful. Oh, man. And finally, of course, for hand cannons, we have the changes coming to the last word, which is actually getting some buffs as well as a few nerfs. First up, they're cutting its range in half. Its range stat was 20. They're cutting that down to 10. And they're reducing the stability from 30 to 20. I'm guessing that that affects the ADS stability. Because they go on to say that they're going to increase the accuracy and the precision damage and aim assist scale when you fire from the hip. I mean, you're kind of undoing some of the damage there. You're getting reduced effective range while you're ADSing and reduced accuracy and all that, but you're increasing the accuracy and the damage and the aim assist when you hip fire, which is what you're supposed to be doing with last word in the first place.
Here's my problem though. So it has or it's going to have a 10 range stat. Last word has 2 perks that increase the stability up to, what is it, like 70 or 80? I think
70.
it's around 70.
I think it's 70.
Yeah, 70. Yeah. So it's going to be 60. Except Perfect Balance is getting nerfed that no one really was talking about. But,
which, you guys should be up in arms about that, but continue.
But it's just kind of like, so you're nerfing it to 10, but you're going to allow us to push it to around 50 or 60 now, which is still worse than it was, but,
usable. It's going to be usable. Which I guess maybe that was their point. Their point was to nerf it, but not make the last word completely useless. It's definitely not going to be. It's definitely probably still going to be the most dominant gun.
Yeah, I derped. I said it was the range stat that was getting buffs. No, the stability was the one that has 2 perks in last word trees. The namesake perk and in the middle tree, you're still gonna have a decently stable gun, especially if you hip fire.
If you're
a specialist, yeah.
Oh yeah, those are the changes to hand cannons. In my opinion, largely unnecessary. They're neutering the class. Ugh.
You forgot to talk about the 111s.
Oh yeah, the 111s. Not gonna be a thing anymore when you ADS. Sorry.
Yeah. Oops.
Sometimes the last word ability, which grants you, additional impact and damage, would proc when you ADS. It's only supposed to proc when you're hip firing. That's going to be changing. No more ADS 111s, which kind of needed to happen. It made the last word a bit more powerful than it was supposed to be, and a bit more accurate than it was supposed to be. But those are the changes to hand cannons. I'm not happy about them. Hand cannons are my favorite primary weapon class. And the legendaries definitely didn't need this nerf. They definitely didn't. This is going to hit guns like Fatebringer, like Word of Crota, like Ill Will, like Timer's Lash really, really hard. And I'm not looking forward to that at all.
The only gun that really could have needed a nerf was Fatebringer, at least in my opinion.
In PvE, yeah.
Yeah, it just causes an overuse of it because the gun is just so good. I mean, it's just stupidly staple, You could just run around and use Fatebringer for virtually everything. It's just a staple gun. And if they wanted to change it, they're nerfing Field Scout, so that's anyway.
That's another thing people should be up in arms about. It's like nobody read the bottom of the weekly update. They're nerfing some of the OG perks from the game. Perfect Balance, Field Scout. I guess we'll talk about that at the very end of this, but you guys should be worried about that. That's going to be a big change.
I would have nerfed Outlaw Reload. Actually, no. I would probably nerf Firefly on it if I was to do anything. Maybe nerf the reload speed with fields with Outlaw.
With Outlaw?
Yeah.
Alright, that was about it for our discussion on hand cannons. We may or may not have gone on for another couple of minutes complaining about them, but I think that's a good enough place to stop. I am personally mainly unhappy with the changes, but we will have to wait until around September 15th to see how this all works out. That being said, be sure to let me know you guys' thoughts and comments about all of the upcoming weapon changes, especially the hand cannon ones, in the comment section below. I know a lot of you guys are screaming Bungie's praises with the upcoming nerfs to the Thorn, so be sure to let me hear it. But alright, it's going to be it for this one, guys. In our next discussion video, we're going to be talking about the changes coming to the special weapons class. And holy crap, this Titan has figured out the secret of immortality. But in the next video, we will be talking shotguns, sniper rifles, and fusion rifles. Farewell, final round and shot package. We knew thee well. But alright, if you guys like what you saw here, do feel free to check out my channel where we'll have a ton more Destiny videos coming out soon. Anyways, it's going to be it for me now. As always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.